You know, in as being a college coach and in the Division I ranks, what is it that you look for in players as far as a high school, basketball player in your recruiting?
Well, I'll tell you, it's real intense. It's a big part of a coach's job. I think it's bigger than even coaching. Recruiting is year round, and we as coaches, and this is every staff in the country. I'm not just saying me. Every staff in the country works very hard at recruiting. We go out and see players play in their high school season. We watch them in their AAU season in the summer, and every year it just grows and grows and grows. For an example, Las Vegas is the biggest event out there. They probably have 7 events going on at one time, and that might be, I don't know, a couple thousand kids. So we have to kind of know who we are going to see and map out the day and every day who we go see. But to answer your question, Will, we look for a lot of things. We look obviously for talent. Depending on our need, if we need a front line player or center, we look for size, and the bigger the better. But we always felt like a 7-foot guy that wasn't very good isn't as good as a 6'7" player that's really good. So even though we might need that 7-footer, we would recruit to the talent. We would rather have a 6'7" player that plays hard, that has a good motor. And I'll say that in answering your question, having a great motor, that's huge. So talent, having a great motor, speed and quickness. Can you shoot it, pass it? What's your basketball IQ? Do you see things well? Do you make the extra pass? There's so many things, Will. For instance, a thing that really has bothered our coaching staff, me included, and we call them ball pounders, and guys that dribble in place a lot. You see this in the NBA a lot. You see it in college a lot, where players have a tendency to dribble the ball but not go anywhere. And we always said this, Will. We say there's a big difference in dribbling and driving. So if you decide to dribble, go somewhere with it and do something. So that's another part of the recruiting evaluation. But let me even go back a minute, Will. Before that even starts, we look at their academics. For instance, they have to take an SAT or ACT by their, I believe, junior year. They can retake it if they don't make a certain score. There are minimum scores that you have to get in school and be NCAA eligible. They have to maintain a certain grade point average. And the NCAA about 10 years ago made it even tougher, where the grade point that you have has to be in core classes, meaning math, algebra, sciences, languages, algebra, that kind of thing. So you're not going to make it taking easy classes and thinking I can get my grade point average up. So the NCAA is requiring that you go to school. And most high schools nowadays have counselors that can help advise you. But my experience has been, Will, that a lot of high schools, many of which are either in the inner city or rural high schools, aren't equipped with counselors that can give a young kid the necessary advice that they need academically. So we as coaches will tell that young player and their family, okay, we have your transcript. Here's what needs to happen before you're even admissible to our university. So that all the things I mentioned to you athletically are important, but you can't even get there and even approach those things until the academics are in order.
Oh, now you mentioned something about getting the transcripts.
Right.
What about any other methods? Do you guys investigate the players before you consider investing tens of thousands of dollars in them?
Absolutely. Well, and I'll tell you this, having been in the NBA, and you mentioned tens of thousands of dollars for universities, that's absolutely true. In the NBA, it becomes millions and millions. So, before you're going to throw a lot of money and players get drafted, or even as free agents, there's a tremendous amount of background work. In fact, my brother's a scout for the Los Angeles Clippers. A big part of his job, he calls it intel, where they call the colleges and they'll talk to trainers. They'll talk to academic people. They'll talk to coaches. They'll talk to opposing coaches. They'll come to a game and watch you warm up and see how energetic you are in the warm-ups. They'll look at you and see what your body language is like. They'll look at you in the huddle during a timeout and see if you're paying attention to the coach. They'll watch you interact with your teammates. The big questions they always ask is, did they come early to practice? Did they stay late? So yes, we did that as college coaches, and we would ask that of the high school coach. Did he come early? Did he stay late? What kind of motor does he have? What kind of coachability does he have? Does he listen? Is he eager to learn? We do check on his academics, and that's a separate issue. When you talk, many times you talk to the high school counselor or to the family. We get the transcripts as you mentioned, but yes, there's a tremendous amount of background checking. The higher you go, the more, I would say. At Arizona, obviously, we were recruiting the very best players in the country, and we had to go up against Duke and UCLA and people like that. So, but even then, and I know Lute Olson was big on this, that if you weren't of high character, you weren't on our board anymore. If you had done anything to even be close in terms of some type of behavior that wasn't good for the team or would be an embarrassment to the university, then you were not going to be looked at. So other schools may not have those high standards. Maybe they just want to bring a guy that has talent, but pretty much nowadays you have to have good character, high academics, and ability to play on a really high level.
Oh, that is really awesome. Really good to know. Wow, that is some real information to take in. With all the kids around the country today and around the world, just knowing this can really get them prepared for, the future of athletics. Now, and speaking of athletics, because now, we're under this quarantine and the country's starting to open back up again. And a lot of people believe sports is in jeopardy right now because of the social distancing and so forth. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I believe sports will open back up at some point on every level. I think the schools will open back up, the high schools, colleges. I think we could even see a partial NBA season this year. I don't know about that. There's talk of that. If they open back up, there would be no fans, but they could do it and just go right to the playoffs as they stand now. And that could happen in the next month or so, because we know the NBA finals are generally held in June. So there's a chance that could happen. So I'm hopeful that sports will be open back up soon. I'm sure a lot of people out there watching this are hopeful as fans, parents that have their kids involved, honestly, and that they're eager to get back out playing. But let me just say this too, Will. The thought that comes into my head that that I really believe is important for your listeners, and that is, I was talking to my brother the other day, and he is as I mentioned, a scout with the Los Angeles Clippers, and he does so much intel. Since they're not playing, to keep the players engaged now, they do these type of things, right, that you and I are doing, these Zoom things or Skype meetings with famous people, actors. They've had Mike Tyson on. They've had, I think Chris Rock is coming this week to speak to their team, and that's just to keep their team engaged. But the one thing that he brought up to me, Will, was that they had talked to Russell Wilson from the Seahawks the other day. And he made the comment, and they were asked, the general manager of the Clippers asked him, what advice would you give our players right now during this pandemic when they can't go play or really even practice in our gym? But there's always places to go work out. There, in basketball, that's the beauty of basketball. You just need a ball and a basket. And even though a lot of gyms are closed and high schools are closed, there's outdoor baskets. And even if that's not available, there's a driveway and ability to take the ball and go work on your handling. But getting back to Russell Wilson, his message was this: during this pandemic, if you are working out once a day and you are lifting weights or you're getting 50 shots up every day, multiply everything you're doing by 5. And then take it to a higher level. That's what he was doing. And he said, I have to be a leader. And that's what I'm telling my team during these times of this pandemic. And that was his message to the Clippers. And I would say this to a serious basketball player or of any sport, that you have opportunity now during this dead time, during this pandemic. Don't view it as a vacation. If you're serious about it, view it as a really wonderful opportunity to go improve yourself. And it may be conditioning, running. It could be handling the ball in the backyard. It could be just moving around your head and legs and back like I'm sure you did when you were a kid, that I did. So there are opportunities now. But, for younger kids too. I live in a neighborhood that has driveways and kids' baskets. And I've noticed a kid up the street, he's probably about 10. And I get up in the morning, I usually go for a walk, and he's out there shooting. And I go for another walk in the evening around 7. He's out there shooting. So I thought to myself, that kid's probably going to be pretty good someday. But we'll see. But it's a great opportunity during this time to improve yourself.
Wow. What a lot of valuable information. It truly was. This is unbelievable. And I think for all my viewers out there that's listening and watching this, they have to be just jumping in their skin right now with excitement, thinking, wow, take to heart exactly what you said.
Well, let me add one more thing, Wilk, while we're talking. I don't know where we are at all, but as I saw that kid playing, it dawned on me this, and I would convey this to anybody that listens of any age. And during this pandemic, it's tough. We're going to all get through it. But whatever endeavor you choose, whether it be sports or you want to go play the tuba in the band, or if you want to go be a politician, whatever it is, have a burning desire to go do that. And I can remember as a young coach that I did. That's what drove me. Now, a lot of people are driven by different things, maybe fear, maybe a desire to go make a lot of money, maybe a desire to go be on TV, but I don't think that's really good. I think what's good is that you have a burning desire to do whatever it is that you choose to do, and don't do it for something that's off in the distance, that I'm going to be famous or I'll make a lot of money. Do it for the love of that game or the sport, or your love of speaking, your love of being a father, whatever that may be, but have a burning desire about whatever it is you choose to do. And I think that has to be there before you even think about being successful down the road.
Wow. You're just killing me with all this good content.
Well, I just trying to speak from the heart. I got no notes. I got nothing. I'm just telling you, as after 40 years of experience of coaching, I've seen a lot. You have too, Wilk, and what you have done, and you've done a tremendous service to people in Carter County and other counties surrounding that area. And I've always watched you from afar, and I really, really mean that. And you've been a tremendous friend to me. So I'm really, really glad I'm able to do this and watch you put this together. Now that you're retired, Wilk, doesn't surprise me that you're involved in doing something to help people. And it's really a great idea.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, before we depart here, any closing remarks to our viewers?
Yeah, I listen, first of all, there's a lot of viewers out there that have a varied interests, as you and I both know. You've dealt with kids and young kids, and you, like I said, you've done a tremendous service to kids, and this idea is doing a tremendous service. And I think the thing that, as I mentioned earlier, I hope that everybody, I wish they could feel the same way I did as a 22-year-old going into coaching, because I coached every day to try to win a game. I never, and I'll say this, Wilk, and this may not be for everybody, but I spoke with a friend the other day. You can have goals. Those are great. You can aspire to be something down the road. That's great too. But for me, that wasn't what drove me, goals, or I aspired. I just took today and said, I want to do the best I can today. I woke up every day with a burning desire to go try to get a player, try to go coach, try to help my team win. And, you know, you have personal things too that you work on. We all do. But looking back, that's not for everybody. Goals, you talk about other speakers or people that would recommend that. Me, that wasn't what I did. I didn't ever look ahead. I never thought I'd be the coach at Arizona and win a national title there when I was coaching at Seminole Junior College. I really didn't, or coaching at East Central. I just wanted to help Coach Cobb. I wanted to win at Seminole. I sure never envisioned that or being with the Bulls, but I did. I had that, and it just, if you do the right thing today, tomorrow will be a good thing. If you do the right thing tomorrow, the next day will be good, and so on. So do the right thing for yourself and people that you love, and everything will work out.
You know, that deserves an amen to that. And I want to tell everybody that if you like the content that you're hearing here, if you would, press the like button down there. And also, if you would, press subscribe. And that will give you, you'll be notified of all future, shows on this channel. And also hit the notification bell there as well. That way you don't miss any content. Every new show that's uploaded on this channel, you'll be the first to be notified of it. Anyhow, Coach, I really want to thank you for being here, being a part of my kickoff, and what greater person to have on this channel.
Hey, I'll be following your channel real closely, Wilk, and wish you all the success in the world with it.
Thank you. And to the viewers, make certain, share this with everybody.